Hello, everybody. It's Gwen Peterson here, founder of Spiritual Communities Network and creator of Insights and Illuminations. It's Funny Friday. And what is funny is um, I thought I was going to be running a little late. I had a meeting that was going to bump right up to this, but I managed to get on time. I sent Denise a text telling her, I'll be there. I'll be ready to go. So just, and she went ahead and so I was expecting when I popped over here to see her. And what's funny is that she isn't here. And so I looked out my window and it's raining. And, whenever it rains, Denise loses her signal. She definitely can't get on. She, yeah, I see her she popped in. She's putting on her lipstick. Get on in here. Get in here.
Hey.
I was just telling everybody that I was expecting when I popped over to see you right here, and I didn't. And then I looked out my window and I saw it raining, and I was like, uh-oh. It's raining. She doesn't have internet.
It's not raining here yet. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my word. Well, and I had to go grab my coffee. I was like, oh,
Good.
let me tilt this down a little bit because I had to send my tower for my computer to get fixed. So I'm back on my laptop and just a little different,
Yeah.
rearranging of
Yeah, I got it. And you were running around last night. Denise did her class last night, and she, you know, i- if you're a person that works with energy, you can appreciate this. Whenever we work with Denise, she tunes in, she anchors in, and she brings in so much energy that it waffles the internet. And I've had that happen to me as well on different things. So I know it's a thing. And but she's also challenged with the rain, the
and
rain and the internet. And that's what kind of got you last night with the class. And
oh
you
my
handled it
gosh.
like a pro.
Thank you. I was really proud of myself. I was like, I am going to teach this class.
You
But all those posts I did all week long about these huge clouds would come over and we'd be like, please rain. It's so dry.
It teaches you, if you're gonna put out there all
To
those
be more
emails,
specific.
all those posts, all those videos, you're putting all that energy out there. Rain, rain, rain.
Oh, guess what I hear?
Yeah, we got a
Thunder.
little bit. It's funny, I'm looking out the window and half the sky is blue with these big puffy white clouds, and then there's like a line and it's black.
And they have been passing us by. Literally, we were, I don't know how many weeks with zero rain. I mean, the grass is crunchy. Our friend down the street, that's a landscaper, he said on some of the courses, he said the lakes are so low you can see the fish flopping around, and then the
Aw.
water gets so hot that the fish
Oh,
they
stop.
oh my
Hey, you know what? Don't do that about the fish.
okay.
That's too
Okay.
sad. But hey, we've got somebody on LinkedIn, Miss Shelley,
Hello.
and she asked what class. The class was Tapping in Your Good. I'll let Denise talk about it. Denise, tell her about your class, what you did last night.
Oh, hi, Tamara. Okay. It was a wonderful class and went off with a hitch. Uh,
Well, it had a
but
little
about
hitch in the middle.
embodying that, embodying when good things happen, anchoring that in on a cellular level. That's what it was all about. And so that we can come back to that, so we can keep our frequencies regulated on that beautiful and loving side of life.
Yeah, and what was fun is, this happened on another one of her classes that we did through Spiritual Communities Network. We hold community classrooms, just so people can kind of get a taste for different classes and topics and teachers. And so she, it's funny because she's in her kind of teacher mode when she's doing it, where she's like really tuned in, real. And I'm not talking that she's not really talking to people, but she's like, she's in a space, okay, a very focused space. And then when she loses her signal and she has to come back on, she's broken that connection. And she comes back as Denise.
This Denise.
This Denise, we get this Denise. So that's what was kind of cute was the first part of the class, you've got this everybody getting into the thing, and then it broke off, and then she comes back and you can tell she's a little flustered, but then she's just focused right back in.
Holding my phone up to the window for a signal. I taught the whole class with the phone in hand.
And then I felt bad because I put my phone on silent so that I don't get disturbed during the class. And so while you were gone, I was like chit-chatting with everybody, da da da, and then waiting for you to come back on. After the class, I look at my phone, I see you desperately texting, desperately texting me, and it's like, we had it.
Oh, when it's meant to be, I mean, I did get back on. I was like, and I went back into the living room when I was finished, and Mikey was like, "Oh, did it go okay? We lost internet." I said, I turned my internet off and I stood at the window and prayed to the Verizon God. Like,
Well, Shelley says that she loves that, and she says she
wow,
totally gets it and it cut it. Let me see if I can
I
cut it
experienced that
off.
as
Okay,
well.
there it is.
Yay. And
I
I see
experienced it.
Tamara. Hi. Is that up on your Spiritual Communities Networking YouTube channel yet? Because that would be one way for them
You know
to
what it
watch it.
is? It
It
is.
is. I'm going to go
It
in
is.
and
I
I'm going to go in
edited
and
it
like
last night.
myself.
I edited it really quick last night, took that little piece of me talking in the middle out. So,
Uh,
yeah, Tamara wasn't able to make it. And so I told her, yeah, it'll be on YouTube and it'll be in our newsletter. And Denise, if anybody was registered, Denise, I'll probably follow up in an email as well. So,
absolutely.
I'll be sending that to her
Cheers to
today.
that. I'm like, yay.
You know what? You handled it like a pro. When I was editing, I'm like, look at her. She didn't look flustered at all. She just came. You broke stride, but the thing is you didn't come on like, you were just kind of like, I'm pressed up against the window. I'm holding my paper,
Was my nose.
and I'm trying to do a tapping class.
That was like, okay. Hey, we in South Florida have our internet issues, so I think we're all kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I did there for about a week or 2, not too long ago, and yeah, that was I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" First, they thought it was the router. It wasn't that. Then they thought it was the other box that the router plugs into. Wasn't that. Because we're on, the fiber optics or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's
Oh.
a little bit different setup, so they thought it was the other
Mm,
box, still didn't work, so they were like,
mm.
"It must be outside." So they must have fixed it because it started working, and it was funny, it would only go out right about the time everybody was home, done with dinner, and wanted to get on their computers. That's when our internet would go out. It was, like, between 9 and 2.
I want to bring something back from last week. I just want to give a shout out to I don't know who saw my beautiful little musical number with Gwen and I at Jet's Pizza and Royal Scoop.
I saw that and I was like, when did she take a picture of the pizza? Because, after we got off, we had talked about, she's like, I've not had Detroit deep dish. Well, you got to go to get some Jets pizza with me then. So we met up and she wanted to try the new ice cream shop that was there. So we did pizza and ice cream.
That pizza was great, and that ice cream shop, if we can give a shout out to Royal Scoop, the young man that worked there was just an amazing,
He was
friendly,
super
and
sweet.
their ice cream was pretty darn good. I got, guess what? Who can guess the flavor I got?
Coffee?
Ah, winner, winner,
I'm gonna win our
pizza
chicken
dinner.
dinner. I went a little bit easier going with the lemon, ice
You did.
because
You
of the
you you
pizza.
did. Yes.
Yeah. I just couldn't imagine ice cream on pizza, so I was
Well, coffee goes with everything.
I know, but I drink black coffee, so
Me
yours
too.
it'd be like drinking heavily milked down coffee.
It's the only time I accept anything in my coffee is when it's in the form of ice cream. Otherwise, I don't know if you can see it. It's blacker than black.
Yeah, that's mine. Mine's been reheated from yesterday, so it's got all the extra antioxidants going.
No wonder we look so young.
It is. You'd think I'd be able to run around the block after that, but
Oh,
I'm telling on you though. I'm
why?
telling.
What did I
I
do?
hope Michael listens to this.
Oh no, no, don't tell on me.
She
He
ate
doesn't like crust. We had that discussion.
what?
He doesn't like crust. We had that
Yeah,
discussion.
well, he might have liked the Jets crust if you hadn't eaten it off of all the pizza before you took
I
it home.
I cut it very carefully so that it looked like full-size pieces with no edges.
That doesn't then it's not a Jets pizza. I'm
Oh,
telling on you.
oh, man.
Michael, Michael,
When we go, he'll learn, but I'm
yeah,
not telling him in advance.
I'm telling him. I'm
Oh,
telling him. Michael, she did you wrong, dude.
didn't
Did
I?
you
Oh,
wrong.
did.
You should that's the picture did you take that picture? You did. I think you had the picture of that where you had the pizza with no crust on it. I was like, "Ah, bad." But
I
like I said
told
on
you I
that
was gonna
video
do it. I told you.
like I said on that video, I was like, "When did she take a picture of the pizza, like, holding it up?" That was a great
Oh,
shot.
you
Picking
were
it up and
ordering
holding I'm
you
like,
were ordering your, sorbet or your,
"No, I
ice.
think I was in the bathroom." I think I ran to the bathroom. Didn't I go to the bathroom real quick, I think? Something. I don't
No,
know.
I
You
think
snuck
you were
that
out
in. I was
ordering
like, I
your
don't know when
ice
she snuck that in, but
with the stretchiness of the cheese.
I know. It was a great shot. I was trying to
Oh,
figure out
that
how how'd you handle pulling apart that drippy pizza with with the camera. It's like she's
I'm getting
become
good.
you are. You've gotten to be quite the pro. Like I said, you did last night with pretty much without any kind of hitch with your glitch.
Hitch with my glitch, yes. There was a slight hitch with my glitch. Let's say that a few times fast.
I need coffee. I need more coffee to do that one.
Mm,
So, gosh, well, yeah, we'll have to do pizza again.
yeah, yeah, and it's Memorial Day weekend, so, if anybody has family that they'll be remembering, I wanted to just
Oh,
give
yeah.
a shout out and an honor for that. I remember as a
Good.
kid, we lived in the country, but the small town near us, they would have a parade. And I remember being a brownie and being a Girl Scout and walking in the parade, and it would end up at the cemetery, and you'd put flags
Yep.
on
Yep.
the yeah, and they'd
Yeah,
have a
our
big
community
picnic.
did that as well, and we'd also decorate our bikes. We would
Yes,
put the streamers in the top wheels and streamers off the handlebars and flags and yeah.
and you could get those little things that went in your wheels that would make noise as you
Yeah, they're
yeah,
called playing cards.
that what you
Playing cards with a clothespin.
Oh. Oh,
That's
man, yeah, that was a big thing. I think they do something at Fleischman Park, um, because they have a memorial down there. Is that the name of the park? Do I have the right park? The one
No, I'm not
downtown?
sure, but I know they do a parade there, at least they used
Right.
to do parades,
Yes,
because we were
and
in the
they have the
parade a few
memorial
times.
there. Yeah.
Because Misty, when she was in Girl Scouts, we took her, they marched in it, so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, happy
So I
rainy
do think
holiday.
that the rainy season has officially begun because it's here for the holiday weekend.
It is rainy season. I'll tell you what, I'm glad to see the rain because it was getting dry, really dry, a little crispy,
Yes.
a little too crispy critter out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very much so.
I we have bunnies out back, right? There's rabbits that run around, and there's been this one little one. Okay, not real. We've watched him grow up, so he's still on the small side, but he's not teeny, but he's not big like the other guys. So he's been hanging around, and last few times I've looked out, he'll be laying underneath the bushes, like stretched out, like his little feet are just stretched out. And he's just, in fact, yesterday when I walked out, I thought he was dead because he had his head down. And I was like, Bunny, what are you doing? And Misty said, she goes, he must just feel really comfortable, safe. She goes, bunnies will only do that when they're safe, feel safe.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. But it's funny because it's right. He was like 4 feet from the lanai screen, and the cat's out there. So
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know if he thinks the cat keeps him safe, or I don't know. But he's not afraid of the cat, obviously, and the cat doesn't really bother him. But yesterday, so he was out there. I was like, "Oh, you're laying kind of weird. Are you okay?" So I opened the door, and I'm like, "Hey," and he like picks his head up and looks at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're okay. So the cat wanted out. He likes to go out and eat the grass. So I put him on his harness
Oh,
and
okay.
we went out and he's looking over at him, but we walked the other way and the bunny jumps up and he kind of sitting there. He's watching us. And then a rat snake comes along the other side of the bush and kind of stops and he's watching the bunny. He's watching me. He's watching the cat, his little head's up off the ground. And he's like, what are you guys doing? I was like, well, and he doesn't scare me, but I don't want a snake coming up and scaring me. So I was keeping an eye on him, making sure he wasn't going anywhere. Bunny decides he's going around the other side of the bush. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting with the cat. Cat's doing his thing. I hear, and I look over, and the bunny is sneaking up on us.
What?
And he's now like 4 feet from me. And I was like, huh. So I look back over at the cat and I notice there's a bigger bunny and he's making his way over. And I'm looking at him and I hear a noise again. I look and this bunny, all of a sudden he startled him and he goes running away. He had gotten all the way to my feet.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I just don't even know what to make of it. I got a little bunny friend. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Don't know
Yes.
why. I'm a little nervous when wild animals feel that comfortable around people. I get a little anxious because, you know, they should have a healthy fear of us because not everybody is
Right. That's
nice.
yeah, that's true. I have to say, yeah, Mikey, they have a rapport with him. He's in the yard a lot and they don't mind him. And he's so funny because if he sees them, he doesn't want, even if he was intending to do something, he will go do something else. So he doesn't disturb the bird or the bunny so it'd be like, wow, I thought you were, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, yeah, but there was a bird there or there was a bunny there, I didn't
I
want to
know.
go out and do that because it's time for them to go to sleep and I don't want them to miss their nesting time.
I hear him. Hey, you know what? Kudos. I hear him.
Yes, it's
I do. I'll be driving. If there's an animal, I stop.
oh
I'm
yeah.
one of the people that scoop up the turtles off the road, not the dead ones, the live ones, scoop them up off the road and get them up off. What are you doing on the road?
Right?
Get back up on the grass where you
Right.
belong.
Yeah, no, I do too, and Mike does. In fact, there was I guess it was a little, maybe it was a mockingbird that that he found. It was a baby, and he watched it all day and didn't see the mommy. So
Oh,
he brought it in and put it in a shoebox, brought it out the next day. The parents came and fed it. For a week, he brought it in and out because it didn't have the capacity to get back up. And he didn't want to, like, he used something to touch it, but he couldn't find the nest. So he would bring it
you couldn't
in
find it.
and out every day. And eventually it flew away. And he says he still thinks it comes and visits him.
Aw, it might,
Yep.
animals are so
He's
sweet
like,
that
I
way.
think that's the mockingbird that I helped. I'm like, yay. He's such a good,
Aw,
kind man.
yeah, and he's
I
got
don't
all
know
the
why I didn't save him at least one crust, but no.
I know. You were just downright cruel. I'm like, "Stop, Denise. Don't eat all the crust off the pizza."
I am
That's
a
the
firm
that
believer
that's the
in the
best
fact,
part of a Jets pizza.
if what you
I
don't
don't
know
care. Nom, nom,
can't
nom, 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 nom.
can't hurt you. Well, when I got home, I used my little pizza cutter and made straight edges the whole way around
It
so that
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I told Misty on you too. Because Misty got her 4 squares, and so she's like, "Nom, nom, nom," and I said, can you believe what she did?" And I told her. She's like, "Oh."
I thought she'd like me more.
She's like, "That's just so mean to trick him like
Aw,
that, to
Mike is
trick
not a
him."
crust person.
You're bad, bad lady.
I try to go to places with people that eat pizza but don't like the crust, and then I go because I'll be like, "Oh, can I have your crust?"
But this was different. This was different. This was different.
I'm going to justify it in my mind.
I know. I can see I am making no impact on you at all. If I took you back there today, you would do the same thing again and try and pass off that crustless pizza to him again.
Yeah, because he did. He goes, "Wow, the flavor and the texture of this is delicious." And I thought I saved him from thinking that, there was any kind of crunchy part that he would have to tolerate.
Denise, you're heartless.
Anybody out there that knows Mikey, you are not allowed to tell on me.
Tell on him. Tomorrow, I have a feeling you probably know Michael. I think you should tell him. You let us know tomorrow. You let us know.
Oh, oh my
Put in
gosh.
there. Put in Facebook in the chat room. Tell me you're going to tell him.
Do not, do not, Hey, free oils for whoever keeps my secret.
Woo, I need some lavender.
Okay, you got to keep my secret. That bottle is yours, baby. Oh, see? Yep, she only knows me.
Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky you're off the hook on that one.
Woo.
I don't know. Maybe he'll get an anonymous tip. Better make it 2 bottles.
Oh, man, you drive a hard bargain. I have some tree oils as well. I know you're a tree oil lady.
I'm a tree oil lady. I am. My weaknesses.
And you know mine, but I don't use yours against you. My weakness is crust.
Okay.
Okay, yay. No, I'm just
Okay.
reframing that.
Okay, I'm trying to think. There must be some, so I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, Tamara, I thought you were my friend. That's right. I forget you can post anonymously now.
Yeah.
When you post, okay, question. When you post anonymously, in a group, does the admin of the group still see it as anonymous, or they know who posted it? As in, so and so posted anonymously in your group.
Oh,
Asking for a friend, not that I'm going to post anything awful.
I don't know. I don't know. Because, I don't, yeah, I've not had that occasion to do it.
Yeah, I've never posted anonymously either. I
Maybe
have.
maybe we're gonna get some anonymous posts today. And if it doesn't show the names,
Well, no,
we'll
it's
know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've seen a few anonymous, but they're usually there's nothing,
But
controversial
they're
about
not
them.
on
It's
yours. They're not on yours,
Yeah,
right?
they're not on my page. They're in different groups that I
Yeah.
participate with.
I don't know. Guess what I did last Monday?
Monday, Monday, Monday.
I played hooky.
Ooh,
Played hooky. My daughter had the day off, and she convinced me we needed to go do a mommy-daughter afternoon at the movies. So we
what did
went and
you
saw
see?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, was this 4?
I think it is 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
I said to Misty, I said, "Wow, we've kinda gotten out of the habit of going to movies, partly because of the whole COVID thing, right? And, when did we go last?" And she's like, "Endgame." I'm like, "Wow, that was 2019." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, it's only keeping that we ended it with Endgame or started it with Endgame, and we're gonna start or end it with Guardians of the Galaxy." Marvel's got some new movies coming out, so it's kind of
So
exciting.
is Groot all grown up?
He is.
Mm.
I
And
am
Misty's
Groot.
birthday.
I'll tell you now, though, last half of the show, I was just bring tissue. When I was heading out the door, I'm like, "Do I have everything I need?" And I heard Spirit say, "You wanna grab some tissue." And I'm like, "Tissue? Why? Is my nose gonna be runny?" I'm thinking the air conditioning, my sinuses and allergies have been crazy. I'm like, so I grab a tissue, and then I hear, "2." I'm like, "2? I need 2 tissues?" I'm like, "All right." Stuck 2 tissues in my purse. I get there, and I'm just like the whole second half, I just it was like waterworks and Miss I
Oh,
it was done, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And Misty's like, "No kidding." She's like, she goes, "It was like right out of the gate. You were just a waterworks." I said, "No, it was like the last half." And she's like, "What's up with" I go, "I don't know." I said, "It just, it
just hit you that
there was
way.
lots of things just really right here,
Aw.
and I was telling my chiropractor yesterday, same story, right? And I forget who he said he knew. Somebody he knew went to go see it, and they said the same thing.
Mm.
I said, "Oh, there." So I'm not a crazy person. It is somewhat emotional for people.
You know, I I can see that. I am that way. Like Hallmark advertisements get me. I don't even have to watch the
But this
movie.
is Marvel. This is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but you get attached to the characters. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff happening. It was
Okay.
crazy. There was, like, lots of it's
Oh, we'll have
good.
to go
It's
see it.
good. Lots of
Okay.
things going on.
We'll have to go see it.
I'll
Yeah.
be interested to see where it goes. I don't wanna give any spoilers because I don't know how much see, I never really saw the trailers, so I'm not real sure how much is common knowledge about it, so I'm not gonna say much
I
more
I
than that.
I know nothing. I haven't really seen. I knew it was coming out, but I kinda wanna see it with Krista, because 'cause we've watched them
Oh,
all together, and, so I don't know when I'm actually gonna get over there,
there's
but
gonna be a female one coming out, female Marvel. I think it's called Marvel. The Marvels.
The
The
Marvels.
Marvels,
Ah.
and it looks like it's gonna be really funny. It's gonna be funny. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, and Pixar's got a new one coming out too, so that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That does look good. Yeah.
The Elements.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Pixar always has Pixar does a great job. I
Oh, I
enjoy their
love their
stuff.
soul one. Oh my gosh.
And
Okay,
Inside
I need
Out,
tissue for that and
huh?
Inside Out. I needed tissue for Soul.
Right, right. There's a bunch of them. Those 2 come to mind real quick, but they've got so many that are just so good. I
They're
love them,
so
and their little
creative.
shorts. Their shorts are great. Misty bought, the DVD of all the shorts.
Okay, that's
It's
fun.
fun. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, DVDs. We still have a player. We still have a player. In fact, there was somebody, oh my gosh, somebody posted today that they were going off to work and they were listening to Seals and Croft. And I was like, I had just been listening. Do you remember this? Albums.
I get albums.
And when I'm like, this is when I knew the words to songs because they were in the
That's right.
album.
Right, right, and
Oh,
then sometimes you bought the album so you'd have the words, so that
right.
when you were with your friends, you could sing them right.
Instead of now, oh my word, I know it was the what's the guy? Bruno Mars did that FUNK uh funk funk it up like it was a bump it up. I thought he was saying something else. And I'm like, and it was during that fitness thing, and Michelle Obama was exercising with this whole class of kids at the White House. She was doing the fitness thing, and I'm like, I can't. I said to Krista,
You're
I
one of those
can't
people
believe
that
they're
gets
doing this
Elmo.
on live TV.
Yeah, you're one of those people that gets Elmo recalled at Christmas time.
Oh, I did. I know. I do not. But I was just like, I can't believe she goes, Mom, what do you think they're saying? And she's like, no, I'm all for free
Yeah, that's
speech.
what they
It's
do.
just a little shocking.
Our country's come a long way. I just don't think it's gotten that far. But hey, you know what? We watched what was it on? I don't even remember what it was on, but it was a documentary on Ed Sheehan. Ed Sheehan.
Yes, yes.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Really, really good. And
Uh,
what's kind of neat is in one part of it, he's talking about how when he was a kid, he stuttered. Like,
yes, I did know that. Yeah,
do you
I've
know how he
seen
got
some
over his
pictures.
stuttering?
Was it the singing?
It was singing to Eminem rap songs.
Oh, wow.
He
I
said
didn't
there was
know
something
that.
about the way rap goes
Rhythms and
that
rhymes.
he would just practice the,
Wow.
words to Eminem, and that's what broke him of his stuttering.
Oh, how interesting. He is such a I really admire him not only for his little life, like what he's gone through in his life, but also how he crosses genres of music, like from classical to he was on the AMC American Country Music Awards. Oh, CMA.
You know, he here's my history with him, okay? I didn't know who the guy was. All I knew is he would show up in movies I'd be watching. He'd do a cameo and Misty'd be like, "Oh, there's Ed Sheeran," or something else. That's Ed Sheeran. Oh, this is, and I'm like, who is this guy? Who who is this guy that's showing up in my movies? Who's supposed to be some really well-known music person, right? So we watched the documentary. I was like, oh, this thing's fantastic. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. And I'm like
Yeah.
really shocked that somehow he flew under my radar. And I'm
Mm,
like, how is it I don't know more about this guy and his music? I said, I don't think I ever hear him on any of the stations. I listen to satellite radio, and I said, what station, I said, "I think I recognize 2 songs, and those are on the Alt Nation station." And she says, "I don't think you listen to the late enough ones." Like, I got, like, the 2000s. She's like, "I think you gotta listen to, like, the 2010s or something." She goes, "You gotta go get the station that goes a little later." And I was like, "Okay," because the music they were playing of his, I was like, "I like his music." Some of the music I was hearing, I was like, "I like that." Um, but I know how to don't know how
He
to
is
get
really,
it.
he just won a lawsuit, and
For the second time.
fantastic, because he actually sang to the jury 100 different songs using the same 3 chords.
Right,
A
right. You know,
hun
there's been people who've done videos on that because those chords are used in all music, right?
Right.
But, you know, the family that's doing the suing are just sleazeballs anyway. Because that's the second time they've sued him, and they sue everybody.
Mm.
It's I'm trying to remember. It's the family of the singer from the '60s whose dad shot him. His dad was a drunk and a drug addict. You don't remember who sued him?
No, I didn't. I only pay attention to the nice parts.
Oh, well, okay.
You gotta look it up quick.
I'm gonna do a quick search here.
Oh,
Let's
because
see.
I do love him, and he did, and I'm trying to think of his Andre Botticelli, isn't that his name? Where he did a beautiful musical video with him. But
Marvin Gaye.
ah, oh yeah, I did like Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye, amazing, right?
Yes.
Amazing singer. The guy was his life was cut short by his crappy dad.
Mm.
His dad shot him, and his family, his estate,
Ah,
okay, it's the estate that keeps suing everybody and anybody because it makes their music relevant. They can make more money off of their dead family member by
mm.
suing people.
Well, that's kind of like
It's
the
unfortunate.
first thing I think to myself is, why don't they think about creating something of their own?
Well, they can't.
Anybody can. Anybody can. Come
Well, Marvin's
on.
dead.
But that musical legacy, how many families have legacy artists, legacy actors? Um, you know,
Yeah.
I my
Yeah,
daughter has a
you know
wonderful singing voice. I didn't get it. Like, my mother could play the piano and had a
right.
beautiful singing
You
voice.
know what?
Yeah,
There's ways they could make his music relevant without
without
having to
hurting other
be
people. That's
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's
And I don't see
true.
how they're yeah, well, they must be making a lot off the sales because their first lawsuit against them, they had to pay $900,000 in legal costs to
Wow.
him to cover his legal costs for it. I'm just surprised that the courts haven't shut them down for frivolous lawsuits because like I said, he's not the first. This is his second one and I think they filed a third.
That's
And
crazy.
he is not the first person that they've gone after.
That's crazy.
Enough
Yeah.
said.
Well, frivolous lawsuits seem to be the way of, like, the some people's American dream or something, I don't know,
Well,
unfortunately.
my impression of his family is Marvin was the bright light there.
Mm.
Whoever the estate, let's just say whoever the estate is,
Hmm.
you had to wise up.
You look kind of fancy today.
Do I?
Yeah, I like that top. Is it a top or a
It's a
dress?
dress.
Nice.
I'd stand up, but I got a little static cling, and I'm not sure where it would be clinging. Because I didn't use fabric softener, and I think I had something in with it that kinda but, yeah, it's a dress. It's very super
Nice.
comfortable, and, we're into that hot, sticky weather, so it's
Yes.
like the perfect thing to wear, but yeah, I love the neckline on it.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah, no, I have the sunbrella shirt on, but there's no sun.
But you've been praying for that.
I have been. I have been. Now I'll have to make my rain videos. Oh,
I love watching, the summers here. I love watching those mushroom clouds go up off the Everglades. Do you ever watch those?
yes. Oh, yeah.
They're amazing.
It
They're
is
just
wonderful.
just amazing and gorgeous, and then they start to come across, and then you go, "Rain on me. Rain on
Well,
me."
when I'm driving, I don't. Sometimes when I'm coming across, either from Miami, usually it is, and you can see it pouring like, and it's just like a line, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, let me get past it, because when it rains on 75, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I tagged you on that, post about the, um, highways, Florida highways. Did you see it?
oh, I did. I responded because I was like, yes, it is correct.
Wasn't that funny? It's got the dead person on I-4, and then I-75, it's like,
Racetrack.
racetrack.
It's yes.
Yeah, it was
So true. Oh my gosh. When I go across 75, we found a new way. We get off at well, okay, I can't think of it, but it I don't have to get on 95. And I'm like, yay, it takes me off, and then I can go a back, I to call it a back street, but it is a street in
What
Miami.
highway comes into Immokalee? That one's the one I take up,
81, 80,
something like that. It comes right out of Immokalee, and you go up, and then it connects up in Fort Myers. It connects up to that other highway that goes up
or is
to
that Snake
Orlando.
Road?
I don't know.
I know that
Our state has what,
oil
5?
well,
We have
oil well.
5 highways, right? 5.
We don't know what they are though. You go past the blue barn and you turn right. That's how I grew up. I'll tell you that much.
I know, I know. People will be like, "So where are you at?" I'm like, "Well, you know where blah 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 is, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." It's like, "I'm just down the road from there." And they're like, "Is that blah blah blah?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I think it is." And here I still call it 951, you know.
Right, Collier.
Collier, they named it what, like 5, 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, I'll say, "Well, just take 951," and people will be like, "The hell road's that?" It's like,
Oh, it is raining here. I can see the droplets in the pond.
"There you go.
Yep. And
No fried fish
I heard the
tonight.
frog, and I'm like, wait, I hear frogs. Yep, it's raining. They're
No fried
happy.
fish tonight."
You know what we were talking about? You can't eat koi. Apparently, koi is too bony. Uh, but maybe throwing some catfish in there. Though I don't know how you'd catch them and not catch the koi. I haven't
Right.
figured that out yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Wouldn't you be better off just throwing in, like, little perch or something?
I don't know that perch and koi get along. I'll have to
Mm.
research that. Catfish and koi get along. We did look that up. And people like catfish around here. So I could say, hey, I'll trade you some eggs for some catfish.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll
Or
have to
those
make sure you feed
veggies
the
you have that you keep posting online. Why don't you bring some down and throw a rod in my pond and catch dinner?
right. Yeah, I'm not a catfish fan. Um, I'm a perch and walleye, from up north, perch and walleye. Lake
When
trout, love river
yeah,
trout, brook trout. What is it? Yeah, brook trout.
that's what we used to catch in Pennsylvania was perch. I remember that. We had a little lake, not a, it was actually a reservoir that was up the road. It was pretty big actually. Um, And because we knew the game warden, we could go on the access roads
Sure
and
you
go in
did.
the back. Oh, my
Sure
dad
you
was in
did.
Lions Club with him. Do you remember all those kind of things? Ah, yeah. We would be like in the winter, we would build the snowman in the middle of the road that they would have to go through, and they'd be like, oh,
Those
those floods
kids.
were here. Because we'd put like the stick with a little sign on it, you know.
And then at least it's a little mundane. You know what the kids in our neighborhood, we had one of those neighborhoods where there was just a crap load of kids. Every house had kids for blocks. Okay.
Oh,
3 blocks in this direction and 3 streets to either direction. Kids galore. And it's in summertime, we'd get bored. Okay. And we would play baseball in the street. You know how you play baseball in the street. And every now and then we get really bored because people would drive really fast through the neighborhoods. Okay. And, as much as you would tell them, slow down before you run one of us over, it didn't matter. So one of the kids got the brainiac idea to stuff some clothes and make a dummy, and we would be doing our thing, and somebody would hide behind one of the trees because we had trees on the street. So you would hide behind the tree with this dummy, and when the person was flying down the street, you would throw the dummy out in front of them. People would have flipping heart attacks, and it wasn't until later in our life that we really understood what we were doing. But at the same time, I think we got our point across because people started going down the other streets. And what didn't make sense too is our street, the one street I grew up on, was the only one that had wasn't a through street. It had a
a
court
roundabout,
at
a
the
dead
end.
end
It had a
court. Yeah.
court.
Hmm.
And so most people, there was no reason to go down that street anyway, unless you lived on it, because you couldn't get through. You'd take one of the other streets if you're going from one main road to the next. And so yeah.
Huh. To get a little bit of where your humor came from.
We got I'll tell you what, one of the persons stopped and they grabbed a kid, the nearest kid they could grab, and they held that person like ransom. They were holding on and they're like, "Where do you live? Where do you live?" And all these, hundreds of kids are scattering, right? And people are like hiding. And they're like, "They're gonna tell. Are they gonna tell?" Well, the kid's crying by this time. The person marches them over to their house, tells the parents freak out. The parents then go to every house on the street and tell. There wasn't a kid that was, you couldn't tell anybody that you weren't there, right? Because the parents didn't care because you were friends with them. And if you were friends with them, you should have told them that was a bad idea, whether you were there or not. It didn't matter. So there was some belt whipping going on that night. There were some sore rear ends by the end of that evening. Yeah.
Mm,
So the dummy got retired.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Then we got bored and we started having, and it was in the fall. One of our neighbors had a chestnut tree.
Oh yes.
You familiar with the chestnut tree?
Yeah. Did you put the things in the road for the cars to run over?
Oh no,
Oh,
no, no.
oh,
We
too
would
mild. That was too
we
mild. I
would
could see.
we would volunteer to rake this guy's chestnuts, and he was just ecstatic because he had 2 big trees. So he was just thrilled to death that we would rake these things up. And then we'd go down to the court and we'd pile them in the court, make 2 piles, and then we'd have like a chestnut fight. Like a snowball fight, only with chestnuts.
Ow.
They're painful. Those little spikes on those things are painful. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It was a
Okay.
tough
That was a
neighborhood.
tough neighborhood, man. We would just line them up across the road and we'd be in the tree and we'd be like, oh, they got run over.
Did they do anything? They
No,
just got smushed?
They just got smushed.
What fun's in that?
We were easy. Look, there was only 7 houses on our street and it was a mile long. So, you know,
If they just get smushed, what's the fun in that?
oh, just hearing it, I don't know, we're like,
If
yay.
nobody's getting hurt.
Right. Okay, I see where we're different now.
No, that was just, it was the neighborhood. Just,
Oh,
I'm telling you, like I said, just a bunch of bored kids, just a bunch of bored kids trying to figure
we
out
had a
what to
lot of
do.
woods to run around in, and I was telling Michael, because how you were talking about the snake, it's like, I remember as a kid, we would build these forts in the woods and think
Mhm.
nothing about filling them with leaves and then going up and climbing in them. And now I think,
Yeah.
oh my God, what would be in there?
We did. We had at the end, one street over, that one was a dead end going in the other direction. And it had woods at the end. But right about junior high, they started putting in a freeway
Okay.
and they tore that
Woods down.
that lot. They cleared
Mhm.
that lot, so we lost that, and they built 696. And for those from Detroit, they started that thing when I was in junior high, and I was like, "Oh," in high school, they were still building it, and I was like, it's gonna be really cool because it was gonna go from the east side up to Lansing." And, it would connect in and it would be a straight shot. It'd be really quick. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Michigan State. It's up by Lansing. This'll take off tons of time for driving." They didn't finish that thing till I had graduated from college.
Wow. Yeah.
They ran into problem after problem. Get this, they are gonna do this, highway, and whoever put it together must have took the map, laid it on the table, said, "We want a highway that goes from this point to this point," and then drew a straight line. He didn't take into account that A, it went right through the middle of the Detroit Zoo. Well, it started out by us, which was closer to 94, and we had quicksand. Who knew, right? So they
Oh,
had a
wow.
problem where they were trying to put these overpasses in, and the overpasses kept sinking. So they had to figure that out. So then they finally got past our area. They got up by Detroit, the Detroit Zoo, which is not in Detroit. They got to the Detroit Zoo and they were like, "Oh, do we go around it, over it, or under it?" What do
And
you
what did they end up doing?
They ended up going under, but not under the zoo. They lowered it and went around the zoo. They lowered it because of the traffic sound and the
Oh,
animals. They were
for the
concerned about the
animals,
animals.
right,
So they
right.
lowered it, but they didn't go under the zoo. They went to the side of it.
Mm.
Then they got to Southfield, and Southfield has a huge Jewish community. Like what's the real strict
Orthodox.
Orthodox. There you go. Thank you. Orthodox Jews, which they walk to synagogue.
Right.
And so they have to walk on like grass. They can't, yeah, they have to walk on grass from what I understand. And so the, the freeway was going to go right through the middle of their community and cut them off from their synagogue. And they were like, "Hey, that ain't going to work." So they had to dig the highway down again. And I think they ended up just making it a
Tunnel?
freeway, down in the hole freeway. So what they did is when they got to Southfield, they did a huge bridge that has a park on it.
Oh, nice.
So it's just a park. I don't even think there's a road on it. I think it's just a park
Wow, wow. That's
so that
nice.
they could get there. I was like, who put that highway? Who thought that highway through?
And it is amazing how long things take. Because I remember coming the first time to Florida down 95 through Palm Beach, construction, and you're talking 1982. I just went up that way, and guess what's still under construction? That part of 95. I mean,
I know some of it
40
doesn't
years
make sense.
later.
They'd exit off of Immokalee Road at 75.
Right.
They worked on that thing for almost 10 years. An exit. I mean, the exit was already there. They widened it. It took them 10 years. I'm
Right.
like, I'm
Job
confused.
security, job security. Everybody, you
I'm
want a
confused what's
secure
going on in
job.
this corner.
But I like, wow. And 95, because they put those huge concrete barriers over, and then the
Oh,
lanes have the little, and it's like, so I always drive next to the barrier because most people don't like to drive there. And I'm like, okay, so most of the people are like,
do they have trees growing out of them now?
yeah, they have landscape maintenance. No,
Right. I mean, I've seen 'em. I've gone down some roads where the median, those, those
right,
concrete
right.
construction things have been there so long, they've got plants growing like trees and stuff. It's like, that's
Uh,
sad.
and oh, it's not our state. Is it our state? No, I maybe it's Texas, where because they're putting a special tax on the electric cars because the gas tax is not paying for the.
They should tax the crap out of them.
We I don't understand because I think we should have the solar panels go right down the highway. It would shade us.
You know what? They've got the technology for that. They've
Right,
got the technology for the streets to be solar panels.
right. Well, even above or below, I don't care. I just like, come on.
But
We're
that's, you
the
know what?
sunshine state.
And
We're the
and that is
sunshine
my
state.
only problem with an electric car is until they've got electric that doesn't rely on burning fossil fuel. Thank you very much. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, and I just think, I mean, we have friends that have them that have. I wouldn't get one that's completely electric because if it dies out, what are you going to do? That's
Right,
just like I would rather have a sailboat with a motor
right.
than a motorboat with no
Those
sail.
hybrids, those hybrids are
Right,
great
right,
complementary type of thing because they generate their own electric. They generate it
right,
and they run on gas in case you get caught, like if you're in
right,
a hurricane, you're going 2 weeks without electric, you're not going to be able to charge a car, you know.
right.
But those hybrids, they charge extra for that. Like I think it's a $10,000 extra.
Well, and then how do you take them like on a trip? Because not every place you pull up has a
Right.
charging station.
Oh, well, yeah, and they've got all kinds of stuff going now. They're rallying that people should be forced to put in electric charging stations. I'm
Oh, I
like,
didn't know that. I haven't
yeah,
heard.
why don't you guys pay for that too? You know? Why don't you pay for some of these upgrades you want?
I know. I remember seeing this VW van, VW bus, like, and
Right.
it runs on front, like they all those years ago converted it to run on used oil. So they'd go to
Cooking
Wendy's,
oil.
get
Cooking
the,
oil. There's a
so
car
it
that drives around town.
smells like a French fry, and then they converted it and had a solar panel on the top, so it puts because it can't go too far fast because it's not aerodynamic, but
Yep.
it's an electric French fry.
I saw a car. There's a car, and he's got a bumper sticker across the back that says he runs on cooking oil, used recycled cooking oil.
Right.
And I was like,
Right. You do have to
I don't
strain it and everything. You can't just get
I
the.
I think there has to be a little refining going on there,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's that. There, for the more creative ones out there.
But then if I had that car, I'd always be hungry. I'd always want a French fry. And do you get it? I remember when I was in college working at fast food places, and you smell like French fries. You smell like the cooking oil, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Um,
And depending on the cooking oil, because back when we were kids, they cooked with animal fat.
right.
And that's a whole different fat, and it tastes a whole lot better. And you know what? I think it's healthier for you. Now they cook with that icky canola oil that
Which isn't good for the
sticks.
planet either.
It sticks to
Mhm.
everything, and you
Right.
can't get it off of anything. And you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there. It's been linked to being the cause of people getting sunburns. You know, this big skyrocketing of having to wear sunscreen because everybody's getting skin cancer because they burn so readily. It's because you're pumping your body full of canola oil. Canola
Really?
oil.
I hadn't heard that. I mean,
Good. Do some
that's
research.
interesting.
You
Okay.
do fact check me on it.
Oh, Fat Checkers Anonymous. We
Fact check
can
me.
fat checkers. Fat, wait, we're gonna do fat checkers, like
That
fat.
fact
Canola
checkers,
oil is the fat,
you
right?
let's get on the let's get a bunch of kids and yell fact checkers really fast together.
We need it. We need them.
Put
Yeah.
it put it in
You
the
used to have the
comments
baking
below.
grease, like, we had a can, a tin can on the stove, and you would pour your baking grease, and it would stay there, and when you wanted to cook, you took a
Yes.
spoon
My
and you
grandma used to do
yeah.
that. Mhm. Bacon
Mhm.
grease. She would make bacon she would use the bacon grease to do, every yeah, she cooked with that all the
Yeah.
time. It was the best taste in eggs and hash browns. Oh, yeah,
I like my hash browns crispy, and bacon fat will do that.
it will. Yep, yep. Yeah. So our fat fact checkers, comment below. Put a comment. In fact, feel
Does
free to
canola oil ingesting canola so the question is, does ingesting canola oil make you more prone to sunburn, which then leads to skin cancer? Correct? Versus when we grew up and you would put baby oil and iodine together and lather
oh,
it.
I don't know about the iodine. I've never heard about the iodine thing.
Oh yeah, because I had a
Baby
neighbor,
oil.
and then she would sit out there with the tin thing on her lounge chair, and she would be, because it was,
Mm.
isn't it iodine? The red, yeah, and
Well,
baby
yeah,
oil.
but
And she would be this um, crispy bacon color.
I don't think that's healthy for you. I mean, I get the baby oil's not healthy either, but I don't think putting iodine in it and frying it into your skin's any better.
No, I'm not saying it was healthy. I'm just saying it was a thing when I grew up.
Yeah.
My parents wouldn't let us do it, but our neighbor, we would
Oh
go
my
up and play
gosh.
with her kids, and you remember those
Oh yeah.
chairs that fold it like this, and then and you could adjust them, and then inevitably they would fall, like one would fall.
Well, my dear, I gotta go pee.
Okay, love you.
I just told the
Great.
whole world that I
Yes.
have to go, and I got a 2:30, and I usually have a 2 o'clock, so you're late.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am. Okay. Mwah. Love
See you
you.
later. Love you. We'll be back next week, guys. Take care.
Bye, everybody.